Chapter 5 characters lineup looks nuts. Let's go through them one by one. So starting off with Tammyhauser the Blue Ball. Now we've seen Tammyhauser the Blue Ball, literal blue ball in Chapter 4's Barely Buried. That's where she made her entrance. But when the new soundtrack that revealed Tammyhauser being a blue ball, it shows a silhouette of a girl with a red outline. Now, of course, that red outline is mostly because it is using a black background, but one would have to assume that, is this what they're going for? Are they going for a complete blue ball, literal blue ball being going around? And maybe by the end of the game, once you get one of the endings, you get to see your daughter being in a human shape, just as you remember her innocence, and maybe they'll keep that black silhouette because there is another Tammyhauser, and that Tammyhauser was revealed during Chapter 4 post Mascot Mayhem. We saw that enraged Tammyhauser, the one that was unfortunately the victim of brutality's monstrosity being done by her father. Basically, that Tammyhauser is the reaction and / consequence of Doughauser's action. This one is the one that deserved love, that deserved all the attention from both her parents, the one that had love for her parents, regardless of how they treated her. I'm including both Doughauser and Clarissa Hauser because, you know what, at this point, nobody's safe, alright? Only Tammyhauser is the victim here. Everybody else, you can leave. Then the second one, ladies and gentlemen, is the Puppet Master. Now, as for the Puppet Master, which, if you don't know already, Puppet Master was revealed to be the boss of Mannequins. Now, I was hoping that he was from a different realm. Unfortunately, no, he's a slave, one of the slaves of Malek. He obeys Malek's orders. Now, that confirms that he is not one of the other enemies that are present in Chapter 5 that do not obey Malek to its teeth. So how he's going to fit into the bigger storyline? Probably not that big. He's just going to be there showcasing Malek's control over his realm and his monsters. So, you know what, Puppet Master, I feel for you. Hopefully you have a bigger role than that. Then we're going to talk about mannequins themselves. There are classes that were revealed related to mannequins. The red ones that we've already seen. There are other white mannequins. Now, I already made the joke, so I'm just going to repeat that joke. Racist mannequins because they have cone heads. You get it. But mannequins, the reason I'm mentioning mannequins here, because in the bigger plotline, they don't do much other than being just an enemy with the purpose of just making you go through a phase, playing the gameplay, and getting to the next phase. Because frankly, the good parts happens after Mannequins and their boss fight. But I did mention them because Vincent Luke revealed that we have seen nothing when it comes to Mannequins, because they will blow us in the gameplay. They will be fast. Their gameplay will be different than the previous level. So I'm really hyped for the gameplay section, but for the story part, nah man. Then I'm gonna talk about this monster. We have yet to get a name for this monster, but he's easily the most menacing looking amongst all of them. Like I said, 6+ new models, aka 6+ new characters in Chapter 5 basically to close the story arc. And then this mofo, what role he's going to play? Is he under Malek's control? Could he be the one that comes from a different realm? Could he be the one that is still from this realm but don't obey Malek? Could he be the one that is rogue, that doesn't help us or Malek, but he serves his own agenda? He has his own personality, his own conscience, his own thoughts, and he pursues his own goals. And we get to see that, and we could use that. There's also another possibility of this being Malek's final form. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited to see where this is going, because if you're bred of the image, you'll see he's wearing some sort of cloak. And the only person we've seen wearing a cloak is Malek. So it is very possible that this is one of his multiple forms. When we do get to face Malek as a boss fight, he goes through his multiple phases, and this is either the last phase of his or something like that. Very possible, but it would be a waste. We'll see how they manage and tackle Malek's phases, because it is very important. Then before we get to the main recipe, we gotta talk about Beerus. Now we've seen a different outfit for Beerus in this teaser that was posted 2 weeks ago. Fans are wondering, okay Smack, we've accepted and swallowed the pill of Beerus betraying us. It is possible that in one of the endings, when Beerus betrays us, we face her. We side with Malek and we face her. Or one of the other endings where we beat both Malek and Beerus, it is possible that this outfit has nothing to do with beating her at all. And this is just the outfit that she gets after overtaking Malek's regime, after overtaking Malek's empire and all these monsters. Very possible, because look at her, she is now young. It is also possible that this is directly from a flashback. Now, in my Chapter 5 Part 2 news update, I've talked about how there will be dream sequences. This is Beerus' story after all, Shattered Ring arc, whole 5 chapters. So possible we get to see her in her previous form, finally getting what she wanted. Fame, attention, youngness, youth in the real world. Now she's getting all of that, and Malek's empire, and she's getting young, and powers in this world, in this realm. Could be a very good story cap off for Beerus, but there's something that goes wrong with Ring Altar Relic. It maybe enhances your dark side, something. Look man, we're in dark magic. You think it could get any dark? We'll wait and see for Chapter 5. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna cap off with 2 more characters. Evil Doughauser. It is necessary that we talk about Evil Doughauser's role in all of this. Literally, the two most important person in the story is not Malek. Yep, believe it or not, it's actually Beerus and Doughauser. Beerus because this is the Shattered Ring arc, this is her story, and Doughauser is because we're playing as him. So we're kind of sort of the eyes, aka Doughauser, in Beerus' storyline. So Evil Doughauser, that was something that was, theorized a lot by fans starting from Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, and then it was revealed that Evil Doughauser is a thing. We'll get to see him, we'll get to face him. So don't count yourself out. If you've made it this far, even Malek couldn't catch you, that means only one person can stop you, and that is you yourself. There's a lot of metaphors, we've talked about it in details, how this is the story of the gray area, finding the gray area between good and evil, even though one presumably is good, even though they're not, and one is presumably evil, they're still evil, but they have some grayish in them, although they're still evil. So you see the balancing that is tough to keep up with these characters, good side and bad side. You know what I'm saying? So Evil Doughauser, really have no clue how that one is gonna go. Very possible that it goes sideways, very possible. And finally Malek himself, of course. Yes, the boring answer that we gotta talk about. Malek will be an enemy, but I can see them pulling off. Because Malek is so predictable in terms of the final boss, I think Galactic Entertainment can use it to their advantage and pull off something spectacular here. Basically bring every character in Dark Deception universe for this boss fight. Make it the most epic showdown since Avengers Endgame, since Zack Snyder's Justice League Darkseid battle. Us alone with Beerus' powers a little bit and Blue Ball's help. Only 3 of us, maybe even Clarissa, Doughauser, I'll talk about it in just a second, against every enemy that we've faced so far. Basically, every boss fight combined. I think that would be the sickest and most bold thing a horror game has done to date. But one character that I have not mentioned is that Clarissa Doughauser. Now, Vincent Lewis on record said that Clarissa Doughauser has gone a different path. He alluded to the fact that we might not meet her, that Doughauser might not meet because she's gone a different path, but I smell bull. I think he is underplaying the fact that Clarissa has a bigger role to play in this Chapter 5. There is a possibility that she doesn't play any role at all, and she's only confided to notes as an E character. There's a possibility that we get to learn her fate. Unfortunate fate. Very boring, but unfortunate fate that we get to see a character, a poster, or a note where it says that, she has reached her end, and we learned from Malek that she died, became a character that we've already faced, or something like that. Maybe a character that we will face, but she's not. Clarissa Doughauser died and became a monster. Look, man, I'm trying. What I'm trying to say is that Vincent is alluding to the fact that she is not here, that we might not get to see her, let alone face her as a boss fight, or even make her an ally for the final boss. Who knows at this point, honestly. But one thing is for certain that I'm gonna end this video with. Chapter 5 is probably gonna be my favorite chapter compared to Chapter 4. And it's probably the excitement for Chapter 5 has already, for me, exceeded Chapter 4's. Chapter 4 was a very important point in Dark Deception for me personally. But looking at this roster, it is easily my favorite chapter because there's so much maturity compared to Chapter 4's roster. But there's just so much history. There's so much build-up, there was so much hype that was created in the last, 5 years? Either in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's 3-4 years, so there's just so much history there. And to cap it all off, it's a tough task. It's a tough job, but with so much storytelling of the past, in the past, with so much on the line, I think it's easily my most anticipated one. I think they're gonna deliver it, surpass our expectations. That's where I'm gonna end this video. Thank you for watching. Susu, yay.
Kill is now initiated. Constructing. Joy kill unit completed. Have a joy day.